basketball on FS2 is brought to you by Jeep Grand Cherokee. It's freezing outside the Century Link Center in Omaha, but inside things are heating up as the number 10 team in the nation, the Creighton Bluejays, host the Oral Roberts Golden Eagles. Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Physiak. This is Nick Baugh. Maurice Watson has only been with Creighton now 2 years, but there are people in Omaha who are already saying Maurice Watson could be the greatest point guard in school history.
Seems kind of like a little bit of hyperbole, but it's true right now. He's averaging 9 assists a game, which leads the nation, and he is the engine behind this offense. Its pace and its ability to share the basketball. It all starts with little number 10, Maurice Watson Jr.
Oral Roberts has been very aggressive with their schedule. They're better than their 2-9 record. Jalen Bradley averages 13.7. He's a local guy from Norfolk, Nebraska. Chris Martin is the leading scorer, averaging 15 points per game. Marcus Foster leads Creighton in scoring, and he has been electric early.
And I think a big part of his ability to get off to a great start transferring in is Maurice Watson Jr. Just spoon-feeding him easy shots to get him into a rhythm.
And, of course, you have the 7-footer, and that is Justin Patton, who has been outstanding this year, shooting 80% from the floor, and he will jump center up against Albert Owens, a 6'9 junior from Cedar Hill, Texas. It is controlled by Creighton. They are 10-0, the number 10 team in the nation. And this is Watson, we told you, leading the nation in assists, 9.1 per game. Foster coming off the screen, and he gets the call early.
Yeah, we saw Creighton walking over that play and shoot around. Greg McDermott, like a football coach, scripts his first couple plays of the game, wanted to dial up and look for Foster, and a nice little curl screen right in the middle of the lane, and he delivers.
And here's a guy who's playing really well. It is Kyrie Thomas up for the jam, and Creighton with the early 4-0 lead.
The most improved player on the team, Kyrie Thomas. He averages 13 a game, and it's those kind of baskets. You don't have to run any sets for him to score.
Ball controlled by the Blue Jays. Patton. Nice outlet pass to Foster, and he will finish nicely.
Boy, avalanche here in the first minute. Just Creighton is always relentless, pushing it in transition, doing a good job turning defense into offense.
Yeah, Scott Sutton, the coach of Oral Roberts, was concerned about the pace of play. He says Creighton has great athletes. They really like to run, and we can't let them get out and go. And they're almost got another steal by Foster. In the corner, though, it's Chris Martin. And there's a steal by Kyrie Thomas. There is Greg McDermott in his 7th year. And he has a team off to a 10-0 start, one of 6 teams in NCAA Division I college basketball, still unbeaten.
Off to a great start, but this is the game that always stresses coaches out. It was finals week for Creighton, so their schedules get disrupted. You have days where you have 2 finals, days where you have no finals, so I know Coach McDermott was a little bit nervous about a slow start. So far, so good, at least offensively for Creighton.
Maybe they're just relieved finals are finally over.
They're fired up now.
There's 4 on the shot clock, and this is Jalen Bradley to score. And we told you, from nearby Norfolk, Nebraska, you watched him play his high school game, and he played here in Omaha.
Foster answers. Jalen Bradley is a terrific shooter, and he's going to have to knock down shots for Oral Roberts to hang in with Creighton here tonight. Now, Oral Roberts will want to play inside out, so they're going to want to throw the ball inside to Owens early and often. That's too quick of a shot, because this is where Creighton will really hurt you on the other end.
And Foster takes another 3 and misses. Rebound controlled by Martin, who averages about 3 per game.
Martin had 35 points in their last game against Missouri State, so a guy that's a capable scorer.
But they lost that game, one of 9 losses. They're 0-5 on the road this year. This is Watson. Maurice reading the floor, takes it all the way, kicks it off. And knocking it down is Marcus Foster, so that's another assist for Maurice.
Did you see that? Marcus Foster just has to run the floor spot up, and he gets just spoon-fed a wide-open jump shot. So he doesn't ever have to shot hunt. He just trusts his running mate Watson's going to deliver the ball to him.
Foster already with 10 points, so that's his 10th 10-point game of the season already.
Albert Owens with the rebound stick back. That's where Oral Roberts is going to have to make some hay in the paint, right at the glass.
Oh, nice feed inside the paint.
Goodness. Another dimension to Creighton's offense now is the lob to the rim. Justin Patton now with 13 lob dunks on the season.
And Watson already with 3 assists, and we've not even played 4 minutes yet. Martin on the drive, kicks it off. And knocking it down from the right corner is Aaron Anderson, who averages 5 per game. Maurice will put up that 3. And it's a little bit long and pulled down by Anderson. Oral Roberts coming off a loss to Missouri State on Wednesday. And now the turnover, Kyrie Thomas gets it left wing.
Good decision. Just grab it. There's a saying, you don't dribble fumbles, you just pick them up.
Cole Huff with the jumper, and there is a foul. We've got a timeout on the floor. Creighton leading early.
Lob to Justin Patton to the rim. Flying high here in Omaha early.
Scott Sutton is in the middle of that Oral Roberts pack. There he is in his 18th year. The son of the great Hall of Fame coach Eddie Sutton, and he really draws defense, but knows they must do something to stop Marcus Foster.
Yeah, you talk to him at shoot-around, and he was really concerned about Creighton's ability to get out and run and transition, and Marcus Foster already 10 early points, just sprinting to spot up from beyond the arc. Watson finds him, and then Watson doing a great job of probing into the lane, drawing the defense, and Foster, same spot, same result. That's where Creighton is really difficult in transition. They'll run for layups, and they'll run for threes as well.
Happy holidays to you. It's a cold one in the Midwest. And Cole Huff is a very good foul shooter, drops the first. He's at 94% this year.
Something for Oral Roberts. They're going to have to take care of the basketball. Already 2 turnovers in the first couple of minutes of this game. But the other thing they're going to have to do is control tempo with longer possessions offensively.
Creighton gets it back, leading by 6. Watson with the basketball, being defended by Bradley. Steve Pizziak with Nick Baugh in Omaha, Nebraska. We're watching the number 10 team in the nation, the Creighton Bluejays, taking on the Oral Roberts Golden Eagles. The Bluejays, remember, unbeaten at 10-0, and quite frankly, it's been an impressive 10-0 with victories over teams like number 9 Wisconsin, North Carolina State, Ole Miss, Akron, Nebraska, all good teams.
And the offensive numbers are just ridiculous for Creighton. Top 5 nationally in points, assists, 3-point percentage, field goal percentage. They've just done a really good job scoring the basketball.
Good defense now, and they force the over and back.
Martine Krompel with a great hedge, and oftentimes you don't want to get down and reach if you're a big man, but Krompel is pretty active and long for a man his size. Good action defensively.
Yeah, we did the game right after they lost Zach Hansen, who's a very important big man probably for the season. And Krompel, who just has the jam, has really raised his game in the number of minutes lifting for him.
Absolutely. But what the good part about it is I don't think he's being asked to do anything out of his comfort zone. Just set screens, move. And I think the game has been simplified for him, and he's playing at a high level.
Here's Watson. And are they going to count it? Yes, it's a goaltend and a chance for 3 for Maurice Watson.
A silly play from Oral Roberts there.
I didn't think it was going to go in.
I didn't think it had a chance to get all the way up on the glass. Good job by Maurice Watson to push up, and there you see Miller pin it against the glass. I think that thing was not going to go down, and now you're looking at a 3-point play.
Foul against Jalen Bradley. That is his first personal foul. Toby Hegner comes in, and now Hegner will leave, and Krompel will stay in. And Hegner's going over to talk with Greg McDermott, and Hegner will stay in the game.
Put Hegner at the 4 and Krompel at the 5, and then you got some interchangeable parts with the front line off the bench here in Krompel and Hegner.
Maurice a 71% foul shooter. Blue Jays coming off an impressive win over Longwood. They won by 55 points. That was their biggest margin since 2002 when they beat UT Arlington by 56 points.
I will say this, Oral Roberts in here tonight, record of 2-9. I think they're a lot better than their record shows. They had Ole Miss beat in the Virgin Islands. They played Michigan State to a 4-point game on the road in East Lansing. They just haven't been able to put it all together and close out games.
Yeah, Scott Sutton said that loss to Ole Miss was really crucial because they led by 5 with 40 seconds to go, and the team was really down after that one, obviously.
Yeah. Sets a tone for the season, unfortunately, and you saw that graphic for the 11 teams, NCAA tournament teams, a year ago.
Bradley misses with the shot clock winding down. This is Marcus Foster. Off to Watson. Bad pass. And Bradley with the steal and score.
A rare turnover from Maurice Watson. Good action or activity from Bradley, who leads his team in assists and steals.
How about that high arcing shot by Maurice Watson, the kid from Philadelphia.
Just so good at taking what the defense gives him off of those ball screens, where if they're playing off him and giving him opportunities to score, he'll take them.
Albert Owens with that shot clock winding down, but Scott Sutton said they would use as much clock as they could, and you were telling me that Owens is very good with his left hand.
And he's all left hand and doing a good job there of getting to his spot.
Oh, Hegner turned his back. When he was wide open, he had set the screen, he had rolled, but then thought Watson was going to take the shot.
Hit him right in the breadbasket, too. It would have been perfect. But Hegner thinking about turning a rebound.
We were just talking about that. Never take your eyes off great point guards. That's when they're going to deliver the good pass.
Yeah, Hegner should have known, right? Wait till the last second. That ball could be delivered to you. So Davion Mintz in for Creighton. True freshman, that backup point guard spot been kind of a question mark throughout the season. Tyler Clement, the walk-on, Mr. Dependable has gotten the nod throughout the season, but given Mintz an early go here.
And I think Greg McDermott really wants to see the young man play well.
Absolutely.
Owens gets down low. He's averaging almost 14 points per game, a big load at 262 pounds.
Oral Roberts wants to throw the ball inside, and Creighton's going to come with double teams. They're going to work the front, but Oral Roberts has to get Owens touches.
Tyree Thomas, no. Rebound grabbed by Oral Roberts. Chantre Harris in the game now. They'll swing it right to Darian Harris. They're trying to get Owens down low. And now he's doubled by both Hegner and Krompel. Somebody's got to be open, and it's Chantre Harris.
50% three-point shooter, but you see if you handle the double team correctly, there's going to be open jump shots on the opposite side of the floor. Good job by Owens. And it ends in a 3 for the Golden Eagles.
Shot clock down to 8. Krompel will take a fire. Miss the 3. Rebound, Golden Eagles. Aaron Young. Close to within 3.
I think you got to go right back inside to the big fella, play off him, invite that double team.
Hegner keeps it loose. Mintz on the drive. Misses the shot. And Coach McDermott didn't like that as he walks to the end of the bench.
Not a great offensive lineup on the floor for Creighton right now. No Watson, no Foster, no Patton.
He knew how much time was left in the shot clock. He had wound down to 3, so Albert Owens with a shot that he doesn't normally take. Now Isaiah Zierden missing the 3, and Krompel got bunched, but no foul call.
some tired dudes on the floor right now. Yeah, timeout. There's some really tired guys huffing and puffing.
Justin Patton will come back in. We've got a time under the fourth. Creighton has seen their 10-point lead trimmed down to 3.
Watson getting downhill. High arcing floater. Blue Jays up 3 early.
Creighton is number 5 in the nation in scoring, averaging 91.6 points per game, and they do it every which way.
You're right, inside and out, getting easy baskets right at the rim, whether it's in transition, getting layups or post-ups. But this is, I think, what makes them truly special. They really share and move the basketball. Oftentimes, when you do that, it results in high percentage shots like alley-oop dunks. But that is the man right there. That's the catalyst behind Creighton's great offense.
Yeah, there was a great story in the Omaha World Herald written by John Niatawa today, and he talked about the brilliance of Maurice Watson and his teamwork and his love of his teammates.
Well, and understanding the strengths of his teammates and how to get them the ball in spots where they can be successful. So it's one thing to have the mindset, it's another thing to have the skill set to go along with it.
Good defense that time. And Emmanuel Ezekwesi, very strong player. Cole Huff nails the three-pointer from outside, and Creighton is back up by 6.
When we talk about that transition action for Creighton, so often everybody gets sucked into the paint because they're worried about Patton and Foster, and you leave yourself vulnerable for that trailer 3 look, and that's where Huff can really hurt you.
Well, Roberts trying to put together better ball movement right now, and here is Martin back in the game. Down low, it's young Chris Miller, the freshman. Shot clock down to 4, down to 3, down to 2. Better shoot. And that should be a violation. Quite frankly, it was on 0, but there was no buzzer. This is Kyrie Thomas. Oh, that's a nifty move underneath the basket.
2 great finishes going to the opposite side of the floor. You had Miller on this end and then Thomas on Creighton's end.
Sutton said he wanted to use as much clock on the offensive end as he could, just trying to slow down the great Creighton pressure.
Control tempo with long possessions offensively.
Again down to 2, but this time strip. Watson has it. He has Thomas off on the right side, but Maurice throws it up and in, and a blocking foul.
Got the basket by Mo Watson.
Pretty nifty play in transition. Cole Huff getting a piece of it. Look at Watson find the crease, get small, hit the crease, and lay it up and in off the window. Just doing a good job of always going north and south, finding that little seam and hitting it, the little fella. Pretty smooth.
And Ezekwesi picking up his 2nd personal foul, so he's going to have to sit down. And Watson with a strong game already early with 3 assists to go with his 6 points. Make it 7.
Creighton's been active in passing lanes early. They've been disruptive, getting hands on some of the basketballs that have been loose.
They forced 5 turnovers by the Golden Eagles. Bradley had it cornered. Good rotation defensively for Creighton. And offensive rebound by Albert Owens, and then he gets the left hand to go.
That's one of the issues of trapping the post, is you get a little bit disorganized for rebounding.
Well, you'd say for a lot of players, that's a quick shot, but not for Marcus.
These are off of made baskets, pushing it the other way, under 5-6 seconds off the clock, and they're letting it fly. Just incredibly relentless in transition.
And they have their 10-point lead back, and Bradley misses long with a shot along the left baseline. Watson whips it over to Kyrie Thomas. Pat can take that 3-point shot. That's not like him. We're expecting him to make every single shot. What's wrong with him?
80% from the floor. That's going to destroy his percentage right there.
Owens is fouled. Time on the floor, 7:14 to play, first half.
Think about playing fast and letting it fly. Marcus Foster. The light stays green if you're a Blue Jay.
Number 10 Creighton by 10 over Oral Roberts, and fans every weekday morning, Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp go head-to-head on the day's hottest sports topics. It's America's fastest growing sports show, Undisputed, with Skip and Shannon, weekdays from 9:30 until noon Eastern, only on FS1. And how about our impact freshman, brought to you by Jeep, Justin Patton? We were talking about his 80% shooting from the field.
Yeah, you'll shoot 80% from the field when you got 25 dunks on the season, but he's just done a great job of running the floor, setting screens, rolling to the basket, making himself available for Maurice Watson. He has really made himself ready to play early in this year.
And aren't like 2/3 of his dunks passes from Maurice Watson?
Yeah, he understands how to move on the floor to free himself up for Watson to find him. And he understands now that Watson's looking for him all the time. So there's a little incentive to really headhunt on those screens. There's a little incentive to really run the floor hard, because you got a guy here bringing the ball up the floor that'll find you.
Owens with 10 points, his 8th double-figure game of the season. And there's the pass we're talking about. Justin Patton right at the rim, throws it down.
Just great execution out of a timeout. Good pass from Kyrie Thomas.
Young on the other end of the floor. He'll take that jump shot and miss the three. Down control, Marcus Foster. Huff trying to set the poke. And now he'll take the shot with 14 left on the shot clock. Jalen Bradley.
He does a good job. He understands that people are running him off the three-point line, so he gets a good job getting into the middle of the floor.
I mean, there were so many times Marcus Foster going, is that the kind of shot the coach wants? Well, it is if it goes in.
Unbelievable.
I mean, it wasn't even like his feet were set. He just jumps up and throws it in.
Well, this is the great execution and the pick and roll. No one in the backside for the lob, so you got tons of space. Just throw it up the floor. So look, there's going to be no one in the corner for help, as Owens is kind of in no man's land coming on the hedge. Good design from Greg McDermott and a good read from Kyrie Thomas.
Cropple comes back in for Justin Patton. It really denied Chris Martin, who's coming off that brilliant 35-point game against Missouri State. And he forced that shot. Zierden thought he got ball, and so did Greg McDermott. But Martin will be at the free throw line for 2 shots. Zierden's a guy you expect to really play well once they get to conference play, because he's still adjusting from being a starter last year, playing a lot of minutes, to not playing as much this year.
Yeah, he led the team in minutes last year, and you never have to worry about whether your shots are coming or whether you're going to get into an offensive flow and you're playing 30 minutes a night. Now he's playing 15 minutes a night. And so I think he's adjusting to that, and he hasn't been able to get into a rhythm offensively.
And it is a blocking foul on Creighton. It's called on Cole Huff, who is trying to set himself and take the charge.
Take another look at it as Jalen Bradley was coming in. He was outside the restricted area, but I think Huff might have been sliding just ever so slightly. Close call. I'm a guy that likes to always reward aggressive offense, so I don't mind that Bradley's at the free throw line here.
Jalen Bradley, who played at Norfolk High School, All-State, 2 years in 2011, 2012. Then went to the University of Nebraska at Omaha and had knee trouble and wound up at Creighton after a year in the junior college ranks.
Just a lights out shooter.
It's an 89% foul shooter. And cuts the Creighton lead to 8. Watson feeding it inside to Cropple. Perhaps a little low on the pass.
That's the decisions that are made on the fly, where usually you're throwing that up to the rim. I think Watson could sense some traffic and understood that the ball had to have a little bit of mustard on it.
Here's the pick and roll. And Crumple unable to finish, but really well executed by Creighton.
As a point guard, you have to be able to make a variety of passes and a variety of reads. You've seen the lob, that's the pocket pass on the bounce, and that's kind of how things used to look. There, look at the double screen. One pops, one rolls, Crumple to the basket. But that's how the old pick and roll used to look. It was always bounce passes. You think Stockton and Malone. Now, they're throwing more lobs to the rim on the roll man, but you still got to be able to make a variety of passes.
Crumple, who is a good shooter, but only a 61% foul shooter. Both Crumple and Patton, you like their fundamentals, their technique, but you wonder if it's in their mind.
It has to be, because both guys, Crumple's 1 for 4 from beyond the arc, so clearly the coaches have confidence in him shooting three-pointers, and Justin Patton is a guy that's 3 of 5 from beyond the arc, so clearly it's not a inability to be able to shoot the basketball. I think it's a confidence issue for both of them, and frankly, it could be something that rears its ugly head as the season progresses.
Yeah, I took a look at Crumple when that one went in. He looked over at Coach. And he shouldn't have to. You just made the shot.
Should expect to make it.
Chris Martin out top, defended by Zierden. Good defense by Isaiah.
So you can sense Foster's hot because he is really, really running and hunting for his looks right now.
And Watson's looking for him.
Yeah.
Zierden stays with Martin, who leads them in scoring. Bradley. This time did not get that shooter's touch. Ooh, and Watson can take a look at that because the ball was stripped and he went for it at first, but I didn't think he touched it.
I didn't either. He definitely got it stripped from him. Let's take another look at it. Look at the good pitch ahead pass to Marcus Foster, as Creighton's always done a good job getting out and running, but well, I don't know about that call. Yeah, got it knocked away. Oh, might have touched his leg. I couldn't tell. That's close. It's that classic Eddie Seton. Most coaches call it the cowboy action. You hit the high post, 2 guards, run underneath the basket, run off some single pin downs.
Harris with 5 on the shot clock knocks down the 3. He's a 44% three-point shooter this year.
Transferred from Creighton. He's here as a freshman, so I'm sure that shot feels pretty good for Harris.
It's his first points at Century Link Center. He played 3 minutes for the Blue Jays back in 2013, and that was in an exhibition game.
Boy, you see enough alley-oops, and even different guys involved want to get in the action. You look at Foster coming off the screen, throw it up in traffic. Tough finish from Martin Crumple. But this is the usual suspect for the alley-oops, Mr. Patton.
That Blue Jay baby can't wait for the Jeep halftime report because Rob Stone, the coach Steve Lavin, and great star Jim Jackson are coming to talk about college basketball. I understand Georgetown got a big win today.
Yeah, beat Syracuse. Butler with the big win over Indiana. Been a heck of a day of college hoops. Coach Lav, Jimmy Jackson, Rob Stone will have you covered. You look at Creighton inside the top 10. One of the few remaining unbeaten teams. It'd be quite an accomplishment if Creighton can win tonight, then win at Arizona State on Tuesday and survive the non-conference slate unscathed.
2 of the 6 remaining unbeatens are from the Big East Conference. Of course, the national champion Villanova Wildcats and the Creighton Blue Jays. Butler has just the 1 loss. They're 10-1 now. UCLA had an impressive win over Ohio State.
Butler's got quite an impressive resume. They got wins at Utah. They beat Vanderbilt, beat Arizona on a neutral floor, beat Indiana on a neutral floor, beat Northwestern, beat Cincinnati. And this was supposed to be a reloading year for Butler.
Young has to take a wild three because the shot clock was winding down. Watson pushing the ball up the floor and gets another soft floater driving to his left.
See, and he has to prove that he can make that shot every once in a while, or guys are just going to stay attached to the shooter. So sometimes he does have to push it in transition and go get one to keep the defense even more honest.
They go down low to Albert Owens.
Owens is a handful, isn't he, Steve? He's a big guy. They love to throw it inside to him. He's already got 10 points, but Creighton's done a good job throwing double teams at him just to try and keep him off of rhythm and off kilter enough.
Patton back in with 2:47 left in the first half, and Creighton by 10 over Oral Roberts. Oral Roberts only lost by 4 at Michigan State earlier this year. So they played tough against the big boys. Young quickly on the drive, but Hegner came over the back and got part of the arm.
So you got the switch where all of a sudden you got Young on the bigger Hegner. Good job to get to the basket. See if Hegner got a little bit of contact. It looked like that might have been all ball, but either way, I love the aggressive take from Aaron Young.
Young, a 5'11" senior from Edmond, Oklahoma. He's one of those guys who is a streaky player. I mean, he had a great game last January against Denver. 29 points when he hit 8 of 9 from outside the arc.
It was interesting talking to their coaching staff at shoot-around today. They said that the thing about Young is he never hunts shots. He'll always take shots within the framework of the offense. And I think they even want to maybe see him be a little bit more aggressive offensively because they think he can fill it up.
Scott Sutton's Golden Eagles has cut Creighton's lead to 8.
Lob coming. He sniffed it out. A little zone from Oral Roberts. Creighton loves to try and throw it at the rim right away when they see zone.
And they do, but Foster had a defender flash right in front of him. Couldn't make the catch and finish. Good defense by Oral Roberts. Thought Bradley would take that shot. Owens is fouled. Travels.
Traveling Blue Jay basketball.
See, but that is going too quick because he knew the double was coming. So you know that double team's coming, so you know you got to catch it, turn, and try and beat to the punch. And so he gets ahead of himself, and that's a turnover.
Number 2, Kyrie Thomas with Isaiah Zierden.
Zierden out. So the Blue Jays going with Hegner, Watson, Thomas, Patton, and Foster.
Again, some 2-3 zone from Oral Roberts. Got to keep an eye on Marcus Foster here, who's red hot from beyond the arc.
Oh, they tried to go a little high-low between Patton and Hegner cannot finish. Bradley, short with the 3-ball. Thomas. Tell you, Watson might have about 9 or 10 assists by that. These guys aren't finishing that well.
Because it certainly feels like he has more than 5. Now, credit to Oral Roberts, right? I mean, they've hung in there. I mean, Foster's been red hot. Watson's been pushing the tempo. And all things considered, with a minute to play here, they're right in this game.
Young, good 3-shooter. So is Bradley. Martin hasn't played that much here in the first half, and Young takes it all the way with the left hand.
Young to split the ball screen with the bigger Patton.
Kyrie Thomas.
Isn't that nice? Watson could have forced a 3. He was open, but he gave up a good shot for a great shot for Thomas in the corner.
Separation of just 10-11 seconds on the game clock and shot clock. Bradley with the pull-up. Got it.
Good execution from Bradley. The read to find the open spot for the mid-range.
Down to 4. Foster with the drive and floater. Not this time. And a Great effort by Oral Roberts down the stretch to cut that 10, 12-point lead down to 7 at 45-38.
Well, Oral Roberts did a good job of weathering the storm from some early, easy baskets for Creighton, in particular for Foster, and it looks like the Golden Eagles are hanging with the high-flying Blue Jays here at half.
Billy Blue Jay providing smiles for the kids with a little holiday candy, and Creighton with the number 10 team in the nation leading 45-38. Steve Fiziak along with Nick Baugh and Marcus Foster. You get the idea that Greg McDermott wants to get him started early, and you never know. He has 16 first half points.
It dialed up the first play for him, a little curl screen right in the middle of the lane for an easy jump shot. That got him going, and then Maurice Watson could sense that he was hot, and he kept on feeding him. Marcus Foster, here's that first play of the game, Steve. That little curl layup, or basically a little jump shot layup for him, and then here, get an easy one in transition. 4 of 6 from beyond the arc, 6 of 10 from the floor, doing a good job of just running the floor and spotting up. And Maurice Watson had two eyeballs on him at all times and knew where he was. Foster off to a great start.
We'll take a break. Number 10, Creighton trying to move to 11-0 on the season. College basketball on FS2 is brought to you by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Well, Scott Sutton of Oral Roberts was concerned about the Creighton running game. When you look at fast break points, he has a reason to be concerned.
21-2. Creighton did a really good job of pushing it, even on made baskets from Oral Roberts, just running it right down the Golden Eagles' throat. Oftentimes they were resulting in some wide open jump shots for Marcus Foster. You see him with 16 points. Maurice Watson, 6 assists. Kyrie Thomas doing a good job of rebounding in that first half. Really, the backcourt was just the bright spot for Creighton.
And for Oral Roberts, Jalen Bradley from Norfolk, Nebraska with 10 points. Aaron Anderson with 5 rebounds. And Anderson, who's a complete player, also led the team in assists. But they will also bring back Chris Martin, who only played 13 minutes because of foul trouble. He had 4 points in the first half. And Emmanuel Nezekwezi did not score, and he averages almost 14 points per game, so they could really use his work, or over 11 points a game.
Yeah, I think Scott Sutton could really paint a picture for his guys. Hey, we didn't get contributions from Nezekwezi, from Martin, and we're right there with the 10th ranked team in the country.
And Chris Martin hits a 3, and all of a sudden it's a 4-point game.
Again, Oral Roberts has done this to people. They hung in there at Michigan State. They've done a good job this year. They just haven't been able to seal the deal.
Cole Huff for 3.
But Greg McDermott's a master with the X's and O's. Out of halftime, dialing up, understanding when to get Huff going. So good-looking set and an easy look for Huff.
Bradley defended by Maurice Watson. Creighton in the white. Oral Roberts in the navy blue. Bradley gets it low, and Nezekwezi could not score. And here come the Blue Jays, and Watson in the middle. Oh, that's a tough shot by Marcus Foster. He's strong.
Doing a good job of running to the three-point line there, but not forcing one. A little shot fake.
Bradley almost had it stolen. Anderson pushed off. Is that an offensive foul? Yes, it is.
It's important Chris Martin get going for Oral Roberts, playing through the post through Anderson, their point guard. Martin inside out. And then a great basket cut from Foster for Huff, moving up the floor to free himself some space. And then you called it, Steve. What strength and balance from Foster to get one off the window.
So Watson now with 7 assists. He leads the nation in 9.1. We had a push by the defense, and that will be Martin's 3rd personal foul. He's mad because he hasn't been on the floor as often as he'd like to be.
Gosh, and if you're Coach Sutton, these are the tough calls in the moment. What do you do? 3 personal fouls for Martin. And I think the reality of the situation is the game's going to be decided on what kind of a game it is over the next 5-10 minutes here, so you got to ride with your guys as Foster gets another easy one.
You know, I could see them posting him up a lot more, even though he's only 6 feet 2 inches tall. So tough, so strong, and it's always a mismatch whatever guard's covering him.
Steve, you've listened to Greg McDermott at times in shoot-arounds, really imploring Foster to don't settle, drive to the basket. And you've seen now 2 layups right at the rim, just using his big body and strength to get to the rack.
Tyree Thomas has that kind of ability as well. Almost loses it, though, this time. Gets it back, fires from 3. Huff grabs the miss. And they'll start the offense again. Oh, how about that? Curly Neal. Wow. I completely thought he was going to pass it.
Well, he is crafty around the rim. At 5'10", he finds a way to get it off the window, doesn't he?
That's Philly, man. His hero, Allen Iverson, is smiling back in that Philly market.
Look at this. Watch him stop on a dime between the legs. And then how he gets that thing off in the midst of the trees. Amazing. Long steps to the basket. Just impressive.
That's one we'll be seeing tonight later.
Yeah.
Martin coming off a screen, defended by Thomas. You know, I think Thomas is one of those glue guys. He may not be the star of the team, but he is so important to their success. Owens took the shot. I think he thought there were 4 seconds left in the shot clock rather than 14. Anderson brings it down the other way for Oral Roberts. Martin with a spin. And that's a great pass by Chris Martin.
There's so many good guards oftentimes don't see that dump pass. They drive to the basket, they get tunnel vision, they think about only laying it up. Good look.
That time, good read by Owens. He knew that Watson was looking for the lob. Bradley, meantime, will score on the other end. He now has 12.
Well, Bradley's played well. He is picking, choosing his spots intelligently to be aggressive.
Huff with the fade. Not this time. Toby Hegner's gone to the scoring table. And will check in next opportunity. Bradley with the pull-up. And got it over the 7-foot Justin Patton.
And he's a three-point shooter, but he's comfortable in the mid-range, too.
Patton misses.
Center minus from Oral Roberts, understanding that they don't want to get in the track meet. They're huffing and puffing a little bit. Slow it down, execute, get what you want.
And that is a shot clock violation. We've got a timeout on the floor, and I want Nick Ba to give us our best Omaha articulation of this shot by Watson.
Well, it's icy outside. Maybe it's icy inside as he puts Anderson on skates and gets it off the window. Pretty.
Number 10, Creighton with the lead over Oral Roberts. Oral Roberts' coach, Scott Sutton, and he was honored before the basketball game. His dad, Eddie, fantastic coach here in the late 60s and early 70s. And Scott actually was born in Omaha in 1970. And there's Eddie with his wife Patsy and John and Scott and Steve, the 3 boys.
Yeah, pretty cool, especially to see a young Coach Eddie Sutton there. I mean, the Suttons, that's like college basketball royal family right there. They are ingrained in the college basketball fabric and culture. Certainly Scott Sutton, been at Oral Roberts for a long time, done a really good job.
This is his 18th year, 322 wins at ORU. Out of the break, let's see how they run the play. Watson on the drive, got it up. Nope, short.
Another good look, though, from Greg McDermott out of timeout. got exactly what they wanted, a little seam for Watson. It's a good test for Creighton here, though. I think the biggest question people have for Creighton is, can they win a game with their defense? Everybody knows how electric they are offensively here. You see Creighton, they can get a little teeth on this end of the floor.
And that time they tried to go a pick and roll, but Owens did not roll to the basket. And Harris's pass goes out of bounds, so Creighton will get it back. And
because I know with Creighton, ultimately they want to get the game in a fast-paced track meet, but you also don't want to just get a false sense of security that you're always going to be able to outscore people.
Yeah, because they'll get up by 12 points, and then ORU will cut it down to 7 or 5. There's Foster, well short. A good shot.
Mismatch in the post here as Anderson's trying to post up Watson. We got Hagner on Bradley.
They got a good look and they finally got a tip in. It's a rare offensive rebound put back for ORU, and they have cut the Creighton lead to 5. Watson goes low to Patton, but it is knocked from behind. A foul will be called.
Well, the other thing that happens, Steve, is Oral Roberts on an 8-0 run here. Those are 4 opportunities. Creighton doesn't get a good look to run in transition. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. You're obviously giving up points, which is not good, but you're also not able to get out in the open floor as easy as well.
Zierden coming off the bench. He's quiet in the first half. Maybe that'll get him started.
Yeah. And again, Greg McDermott, he likes to dial up some set plays for guys that he thinks need to get going. I think Zierden, one of those guys, good little baseline of bounce set for him.
Harris is able to save it. Missed dribble. A Golden Eagle. And here's Martin swinging it right side. Shot clock inside of 8 seconds. They get a good look inside to Aaron Anderson for an easy 2, and it's a 5-point game again. Watson with the left hand. No. Remember, Oral Roberts only lost by 4 to Michigan State, and Mississippi by 7. They've had a tough schedule. They've also lost to Baylor and Oklahoma. We've seen this kind of competition this year already. Owens. A little long. Patton rebounds. Justin behind his back. Good defense by the Golden Eagles. Zierden spinning his weight and throws it away. Bradley in the lane. It's a 3-point game at the 12-minute mark.
How about Bradley, the Nebraska native, coming home, and he's playing spectacular. 16 for Mr. Bradley.
Watson was able to wrap it around and get the fall.
Well, Oral Roberts is extremely comfortable right now offensively, getting the shots they want with the players that they want in the spots they want.
And there's a timeout called by Scott Sutton. Inside of 12 minutes to play in this basketball game, but the Golden Eagles have roared back from being down by 12 points. Cutting. 5. Greg McDermott's Blue Jays off to a very good start this season, 10-0, best since 2003-2004, the best start in school history, 1942-43, 16-0, and the last of the unbeatens. Well, UCLA beat Ohio State today, and you see Villanova, Baylor, Gonzaga joining Creighton, and USC as the only unbeatens left.
Oral Roberts have been extremely comfortable offensively in the second half. 7 of 13 from the floor in the second stanza, getting the shots they want.
Martin, that was partially blocked by Zierden. Here comes Clement the other way. He's in for Maurice Watson. Zierden. Toby Hegner. Short with the three. He's a very good outside shooter.
I thought Owens had a lot of success against Krompel in the first half.
Oh, man, Anderson had an easy drive to the basket, unable to finish. That would have made it a three-point game. Clement is only interested in running the offense. Thomas. No foul call. It's a power block by Oral Roberts. This is their third opportunity to get inside of 5 points. Harris. 4-3. We've got ourselves a 2-point ball game.
Great ball movement from Oral Roberts. That thing humming around the perimeter. And the Creighton transfer, Harris, cuts the lead to 2.
Clement looking for an opening. Nobody was able to post up. Shot clock down to 8. Down to 7. Turnover by Clement. Oral Roberts can tie unbeaten Creighton or take the lead with a 3. Creighton starters resting on the sideline, ready to buzz in, and they've tied it up. Owens ties it up at 58 with 9.5 minutes to go here in Omaha.
Great ball movement. Darian Harris, the Blue Jay transfer, knocking down a triple here in Omaha.
All tied up with Oral Roberts and number 10 Creighton. Tomorrow, start your Sunday with Fox NFL Kickoff and America's #1 pregame show. Then Matthew Stafford and the Lions battle Odell Beckham Jr. and the Giants or other regional action. Coverage begins tomorrow at 11 Eastern on Fox. Here in Omaha at the Century Link Center, less than 10 minutes ago, Nick, Creighton led by 13 points, and here we are, tied at 58.
The one thing Creighton's been is a little bit vulnerable inside defensively, especially with the injury to Zach Hansen, and Owens is having himself a great game for Oral Roberts in the interior.
So they call Marcus Foster's number. He's unable to hit. One thing I will note out on the stat sheet, Oral Roberts' bench has outscored Creighton's bench 15-7. Ronnie Harrell in the game for the first time.
And Harrell just needs to provide a spark of energy. Right now, Creighton just kind of gotten punched in the mouth here, and they're a little bit flat.
And how about Albert Owens? You said they've got to go back inside. They have. He tied the game and now gives them the lead.
Just going with that side ball screen to get Owens rolling to the basket, and they just swing it and throw it in. And Owens is really in a good rhythm offensively now for Oral Roberts.
Searden finds Patton. Patton with a 15-footer in and out. 8.5 to play. Oral Roberts by 2.
So the double team has to come quick, and you can't give up deep post position if the ball goes inside to Owens. So Harrell needs to be aware to go double. So here, looking to throw back and throw inside. Watson, good job of sniffing it out.
Young with 3 seconds left in the shot clock, and then we've got an offensive foul. I thought he pushed off, and Watson with the good defense.
Good job by Watson. This is the third time this half he's attempted that, to beat a guy to his spot and set his feet and take the charge. And Young got that arm outstretched. The second charge taken by Maurice Watson. Now Creighton's got to find something on this end. All of a sudden slowed down this 2-3 zone from Oral Roberts. Got Creighton a little off kilter.
Ronnie Harrell kicks it to the wing, and Searden with a great save, or it's a turnover. Marcus Foster can't get it to fall. And it's Oral Roberts basketball, leading by 2 inside of 7:40 to go.
And so right now Oral Roberts has done a good job of just milking some of the shot clock, and ultimately they want to get to a side ball screen to try and get a little pick, roll, and replace opportunity for Owens to get to the basket. Here they throw back and want to throw it in.
Martin misses. Patton runs down the rebound. Well, Roberts doing a much better job getting back on defense.
And zone naturally slows the game down, too. Creighton not playing near as fast in the half court.
Isaiah Zierden misses. Bradley grabs it. Tipped in by Owens.
And what a play, though, from Darian Harris. His drive created the rotation rebound opportunity for Owens.
Oh, what a great feed by Watson to Patton.
There you go, pushing it, trying to attack the zone early from Watson, and here comes the crowd.
9 assists for Watson. Owens, because the shot clock was winding down, and that is a three-pointer for Albert Owens.
It's his third made three of the season, so he doesn't take a lot of them, but he will take them.
Harrell. Zierden. One of the best three-point shooting teams in college basketball has suddenly fallen like the weather in the Midwest. It's cold.
Here, Creighton's not a team that does a great job dictating defensively. They're on their heels right now. And
Bradley misses. Foster rebounds. They want to push it. And the Blue Jays turn it back over. Perhaps they forced it.
They get a little too eager to try and run and get a good look. As you take a look at the pick and pop, the bank is open here on Saturday night in Omaha.
Creighton is one of 2 unbeaten teams in the Big East Conference. National champion Villanova the other. They're 11-0, and tomorrow in the Big East, Marquette will host St. Francis. Marquette is 7-3 this year. For Creighton, they're not used to this. This is the first time they've trailed by more than 2 since November 26th against Loyola. And that was early in the first half, down 11-7.
They'll find out a little bit about the Blue Jays here in the final 5 minutes and 23 seconds here. Oral Roberts has just done a great job offensively of feeding Albert Owens, who has 13 points in the second half, 23 for the game. And now Creighton showing a little 1-3-1 as they were getting beat pretty good man-to-man. Going to be really hard to rebound out of this. So sometimes it's that second shot that could beat you.
Owens misses. Huff rebounds. Gets it into the hand of Watson, who's pushing it up the floor, and Bradley knocks it out of bounds.
So 0 for 1 against the 1-3-1. So we'll see how long Greg McDermott wants to stick with it, having to switch things up defensively. As you look at how Creighton's gone a little bit cold, I think there's a direct correlation to the fact that Oral Roberts has been hot, so Creighton hasn't been able to get out and run in transition.
Watson down low. Patton spins in and scores.
There it is, still with the 1-3-1. Kyrie Thomas long and active on top of it.
Bradley from the corner. Long. Patton rebounds. Kyrie Thomas strong to the hoop, and what a pass to Justin Patton. Shot clock down to 7. Owens with that little jump hook doesn't go, but Bradley outfights Creighton for the basketball.
Big time 50-50 loose ball for Jalen Bradley.
And Martin will be at the free throw line for 2 shots.
Creighton doing a good job against the zone now. Little inside-out action to try and get Patton to post up. And Creighton also setting an on-ball screen. They try and create the seam for Kyrie Thomas and throwing it up to the rim. We got a good one in Omaha.
Number 10, Creighton trails by 1 at home to Oral Roberts. And ORU made some major adjustments at halftime after being outscored 21-2. Creighton has not scored on a fast break point in the second half.
The part of it is Oral Roberts' offense has done a better job of converting, so there's been fewer opportunities for Creighton to run off of missed baskets. But you see that little graphic right there to understand what's at stake here. One of just 6 remaining unbeaten teams in the country. Creighton trailing by 1. It's going to be a fun final 3 minutes and 37 seconds, partner.
And Chris Martin, who is a 67% foul shooter, 1 of 2 tonight at the free throw line. Students staring him in the face, trying to interrupt his concentration, and they're successful on his first charity try.
Well, right now, both teams have gone to zone. Creighton gone to a 1-3-1 zone. Oral Roberts has gone to a 2-3 zone. Creighton has started to get a little bit comfortable against it. We'll see if Oral Roberts sticks with it.
He missed both foul shots.
Oral Roberts back man-to-man now, Steve.
Foster being defended by Anderson. Marcus backing his way in with the jump hook. Yes!
Here's Foster in the post, as you called it, Steve. And now Creighton comes back man-to-man.
Chris Martin, their leading scorer, off on the left side, but Brandley right now running the show. Watson on Jalen. Owens unable to get it go, but it's a shot clock violation. Oral Roberts back-to-back poor possessions.
So you see the little post up. They had Foster actually setting a cross screen in the opposite direction that ends with the defender on his back. So you see there, now Anderson's all of a sudden buried in the post, and so Foster can go to work. Good set from Greg McDermott.
Do you think Greg will go back through Foster?
I think he wanted to, but now back 2-3 zone. So you set a little on-ball screen, see if you can't get a post up for Patton.
And a steal by Martin. Oral Roberts has not scored in the last 3.5 minutes.
This ball has to go inside to Owens. I'm Oral Roberts. I go back to the action of getting Owens a ball screen and rolling him down to the basket to try and throwing it inside. So here it comes. It coming to this side. Here comes Owens.
Anderson looks that way. Bradley on the drive. Unable to get it to fall. Owens was not open. .150 to play. Huff. Short. Martin is able to come up with the ball. Scott Sutton wants timeout. 1:37 to play. The number 10 team in the nation at 10-0 leads by just 1 over 2-9 Oral Roberts. Number 10 Creighton 66-65. Oral Roberts with 1 timeout left. Creighton has 2. If there's a held ball situation, it will be Blue Jays basketball.
And it's been a nice little chess match between Coach Sutton and Coach McDermott here of showing man-to-man, showing zone, keeping the teams off kilter a little bit. And now Oral Roberts going to come out, want to try and, I'd imagine, throw the ball inside to Owens as Creighton. There's a direct correlation to that graphic right there of Creighton mixing in some zone. But it looks like the Blue Jays are matched up man-to-man, so keep an eye on the Owens-Patton matchup on the interior.
And Zierden on the floor for Creighton.
That's all trust of being in the right spot defensively.
Anderson pushing off on Foster. No call twice. Martin. Short with the 3. Gets it back. Smothered by Patton. 1:10 to play. Creighton by 1.
The 2-3 zone for Oral Roberts. Trying to get Foster in the high post there.
They got it to him. Powers it up. Short. Gets it back. Shot clock down to 5. He did not touch iron. And Watson throws it up to Patton. No basket. There was a foul prior to the pass.
Oral Roberts foul number 13. Aaron Anderson, his second personal foul. 15 fouls against the Golden Eagles.
Boy, you look at the block from Patton, doing a good job of blocking it without fouling, just putting both hands to the sky, showing his hands to the officials. Perfect. He's got fouls to give if you're Oral Roberts here.
Marcus Foster. Long with the 3. The rebound controlled by Darian Harris. And this is the final timeout used by Scott Sutton. It comes with 27.7 seconds left in the ball game. Greg McDermott's Blue Jays still unbeaten, but for how long? It might be non-conference basketball, but boy, this CenturyLink Center is electric.
Been quite a second half as Oral Roberts has done a spectacular job, but Creighton obviously getting the lead back here. And you know, if you're Scott Sutton here, I think you want to play quickly, and I don't think you want to rush a bad shot, but I don't think you necessarily want to eat a bunch of clock. You want to get the ball to Owens in the post and let him go to work. You want to maximize the amount of time left in this game here.
Owens, 23 points. That ties a career high, and 10 of 16 from the floor. Now, ORU is out of timeouts. Creighton still has 2. We told you if there's a held ball, Blue Jays will have it.
Again, keep an eye on number 44, Owens. That's ultimately where Oral Roberts has wanted to go with the basketball.
Anderson does get it low. Owens throws it up. Wild shot. Picked off by Watson in the corner. And then he throws it away, but is fouled in the corner prior to.
What a block out from the littlest guy on the floor, Maurice Watson. Look at this effort on the backside. Outmatched with the bigger Darian Harris to get it and have the balance to keep his dribble. They got the ball where they wanted to get to. Oral Roberts did, and that is such a big-time play for Maurice Watson Jr. on the backside.
He's very fortunate that the official called a foul on the pass. With that interception, Oral Roberts still has a break. And right now, 5.7 seconds left, and Creighton by 1.
Got timeouts left.
And they will send Kyrie Thomas to the free throw line. Obviously, Greg McDermott took Patton out because he's just a 40% foul shooter, and he wanted to get his best foul shooters onto the floor. So Kyrie Thomas, who is a 79% foul shooter, will be at the line.
But was not a good free throw shooter last year, hovered around 50%. And actually was in this situation numerous times where he had opportunities to make free throws to seal games and came up short. So you wonder, even though he's had success this season, if those demons of doubt are creeping into his head here.
Well, he is a young man that has impressed me dramatically this year, because last year it seemed like once they got to conference play, he lost his confidence. But once they got to the NIT, Kyrie raised his game, and perhaps he regained that confidence during the summer.
And I think the NIT run absolutely propelled him into a really good offseason, and he's got off to a good start here. 2 of the bigger free throws of the season now for Kyrie Thomas. Oral Roberts does not have any timeouts left, so little opportunity there to whatever Oral Roberts wanted to draw up here, regardless of the situation. You know, if they're down 2, down 3.
Former Mr. Basketball is a senior at Omaha Benson.
And Creighton has fouls to give. Something to keep an eye on here.
They still have a chance, and then there's a travel. A travel on Chris Martin. Watson forced the mistake.
Well, you got 2 team fouls for Creighton, and so you can be aggressive off of the missed free throw. So Watson's just going for the steal here. And, ooh, that's a tough call about that. I don't know about that one. Might have been some shuffling of the feet, but good understanding of the situation, though, for the Blue Jays with the foul situation.
Yeah, I didn't think Martin even had possession of the basketball. And a foul will be called, sending Cole Huff to the free throw line, who is their best foul shooter at 94%. It almost looked like they were determined to inbound into Cole.
And this is where the ability to play defense without fouling is important, because now you're late in the game and you have 2 total team fouls for this half for the Blue Jays. So that luxury ultimately forces the turnover, and now you got your closer at the free throw line in Huff.
How about this? Good foul shooting team is missing down the stretch, and Oral Roberts has a chance with 0.9 seconds left. At one time, Creighton led by 13 in the second half. Then Oral Roberts grabbed a 5-point lead.
And this is unfortunate here, as Scott Sutton's got a free timeout here to quickly draw up something. They were trying to get the clock right. Little reminders on where you're going with things. So here we go, putting Patton on the ball. I like that at 7 feet tall, because the pass makes the play here.
Harris with the inbound. Fires it deep. Stolen by Watson, and Creighton is 11-0.
Bluejays move to 11-0. They top Oral Roberts 66-65.
Well, it certainly wasn't easy, but the Blue Jays find a way to win.
And you talked about Creighton. Can they do it on defense? Oral Roberts was held scoreless in the final 6:08 of this game, so they did it on defense, and they are still one of just 6 unbeatens left in college basketball. Maurice Watson with another double-double. We'll come back and wrap it up right after this. Number 10, Creighton stays unbeaten. They're now 11-0 with a 66-65 victory over Oral Roberts University. And Marcus Foster again came up big with 22 points, including a key basket that gave him the lead.
He was red hot to start the game. Did a good job in the first half of running to his spots in transition. And Maurice Watson was finding him all game long. He was doing a good job of finding open threes in the open floor. And I thought he did a good job in the second half of not settling and getting to the rim. And I think that's 6 rebounds. That number is something that Greg McDermott's really going to like, because quite frankly, he hasn't rebounded at a high enough clip, but he had the go-ahead basket on the post-up. So I thought Foster was really, really good here this evening.
And Nick, sometimes you talk about final week, both for Oral Roberts and for Creighton. That may have played into it, but I still think Greg McDermott, this kind of a game is a teaching tool for his Blue Jays.
I agree. I know there's a lot of things that aren't going to look great on film, but this is a character-building win. Creighton has been really blowing a lot of teams out. They needed a game to dig deep. I mean, trailing by 5 with under 4 minutes to go. You go to the 1-3-1 zone. You find a way to get some stops and convert on the other end. So there's a lot to build on here if you're Greg McDermott.
And here a look at the final stats. I mean, the fast break points jump out at us because they were 21-2 in the first half. And then Oral Roberts made some defensive adjustments.
I think it does show you, though, how reliant Creighton is on getting into the open floor, getting easy baskets and transition. So they did a good job, though, in the second half of finding different ways to disrupt the rhythm for Oral Roberts and going zone. But certainly fast break points was a big key factor in looking at the stat sheet tonight.
So they are now off to their best start since the team went 12-0 in the 2003-2004 season. It was another double-double for Maurice Watson with 13 points and 10 assists. But more importantly, Creighton still unbeaten, along with Villanova, two Big East schools unbeaten in college basketball. Have a great evening, everyone.